All right, let's talk availability zones. So as I mentioned before, an AWS region will have multiple availability zones, usually three or more. But what exactly is an availability zone? An AZ is just a single data center, or it can be a group of data centers within that region. Availability zones are located tens of miles apart, so it's close enough so that their latency or the time between requests and responses are low, but they're also far enough, right, that they increase coverage. And that coverage, that increased area coverage, means that if there is a disaster, for example, a natural disaster, that the chance of multiple zones going down is minimized. There have been cases, absolutely, right, where, and this might not be specific to AWS, just in general, in the cloud computing industry, there have been cases where data centers, enough of them go down that popular websites go down. This can be the case of like Facebook that happened a few years back. I know this can happen with video games, right, where the servers go down. So just know that's probably a data center that went down. Something happened, and that's why the service is interrupted. But if you have good coverage, right, and good redundancy, or really what I mean by that is enough backup AZs, then you can rest assured that your service won't be interrupted. Things can happen, so multiple AZs helps minimize interruptions for your customers. So here's a graphic on availability zones. So here we can see the US West 1 AWS region in Northern California. And then here are the different AZs in there. So we have three AZs here, three groups of AZs. So Northern California, Oregon, and GovCloud US West are separate regions. This is one region. So the Northern California region is called US 1, and then the three AZs are the 1A, 1B, 1C. Within each AZ, it appears there are only 3 data centers. All right, so Amazon EC2 in a single AZ. So let's take a look at this example. So suppose that you're running an app on a single Amazon EC2 instance in that US1 region, AWS region. So the instance is running in the 1A AZ, or availability zone. If 1A were to fail, you would lose your instance, so there'd be an interruption in your service. However, if it's available in multiple AZs, for in this example, at least 2 AZs, you might choose to run your Amazon EC2 instance in both 1A and 1B, right, to satisfy those 2 AZs. Now, why is this best practice? Because if 1A goes down, 1B is going to be there as a backup to serve your customers. So yeah, here's the example. Here's a graphic. 1A goes down. Could be a power outage, hardware failure, natural disaster. Could be all sorts of different things, right? As we know, whatever bad things can happen, right, will probably happen at some point. But by having multiple AZs serving up your instance, this will reduce downtime and ensures that either there's minimal disruption for your users or just no disruption at all. All right, let's talk edge locations. So what are edge locations? Go ahead and watch this video, and then we'll pick up right after.